Hallo Lieblings, was geht's? This is your German language trainer Sharvi Sharma and you've tuned into Kochiva. In our very first Lektion 1 for A1 Niveau, which is our very first chapter in the German language journey, we are going to deal with not just the alphabets of the German language, but also help you understand how the German language number system functions. And not just that, we are also going to deal with the months, the days of the week, and all the other vocabulary that is related to that. So we'll start our journey by having a very interesting dialogue between a teacher and students in a classroom setup. So let's begin with that and understand how in German will you ask somebody's name and how will they respond to it. So as you can see on your screens, it is a conversation between the teacher and a few students. So the teacher begins by saying, Guten Tag, ich bin Frau Martha, ich bin Ihre Deutschlehrerin. So she says, good afternoon to all of you. I am Mrs. Martha and I'm your German language teacher. Wie ist Ihr Name? So she's asking the name of the first student. The student replies, Hallo, my Name is Jonas Kemp. So he says, hi, my name is Jonas Kemp. Und woher kommen Sie? Meaning, and where are you from? So the student replies, Ich komme aus der Türkei. So he says, I'm from Turkey. Now, the second time the teacher is asking the question formulation is slightly different from the first one. So in the first context, she is saying, Wie ist Ihr Name? In the second time, she has utilized another way of asking a question in German. So now she is actually saying, Wie heißen Sie? What are you called? This is another way of asking a person's name in German language. So the student replies, Ich heiße Lira Sirosova. So she says, my name is Leah and ich komme aus Russland. So she's from Russia. So then the teacher is asking, Und wie heißen Sie? To the other student, to which the student replies, my Name is Sia Sanchez. So she says her name is Sia and ich komme aus Chile. So she says, I'm from Chile. Next, the teacher is asking, Und Sie? So, and you? Where are you from? To another student. To which the student replies, Ich bin Alaya Fedorova. Ich komme aus Kazakhstan. So she's saying, my name is Alaya and I am from Kazakhstan. The teacher further says, Und wer ist das? Meaning, and who is this? Who do we have here? So the student replies, Das ist Herr Li. Kommt aus China. So the student says, this is Mr. Li and he's from China. Let us move ahead and begin our language journey with another very short dialogue. Guten Tag, wie geht es Ihnen? Good afternoon, how are you? Mir geht's echt gut. Und Ihnen? So the person replying and saying, I'm doing very well. How are you doing? Danke, mir geht es auch gut. So the person is saying, thank you so much for asking. I'm also doing well. Kennen Sie Frau Wagner? So this means, do you know who Frau Wagner is? So the person replies, Ja, sie ist meine Schwester. He says, yes, of course, she is my sister. Ah, okay, wir arbeiten zusammen. So he says, oh, that's great. We work together. Arbeiten is a German verb that means to work. So he says, we work together. So the other person says, also, by Tokotek. So this also is not the English also. Rather, in German, also means therefore. So it kind of adds a dramatic effect to your sentence, so you can utilize it. Also by Tokotek. So this means, are you working with the company called Tokotek? Is it Tokotek? So in German language, whenever you're working with a certain company, we always use the preposition by. This is a dative preposition. In the upcoming classes, we'll be sure of knowing what dative prepositions are. But for now, let us just understand that by is used whenever we are indicating that we work in a certain company. For example, if I work with Kochiva, I will say, Ich arbeite bei Kochiva. Ich arbeite bei Google. Ich arbeite bei Amazon. Moving ahead, so the person replies and says, Ja, bei Tokotek. So he says, yes, I work with Tokotek. Next, the person says, Ach, gut dann, auf Wiedersehen. Auf Wiedersehen. So auf Wiedersehen is a way of saying bye, which is a formal way of saying bye. Another way to say bye is cheers. We'll be doing that in our word chats or our vocabulary part. So there you will understand what tschüss is. Tschüss is more of an informal way of saying bye to somebody, and auf Wiedersehen is more like towards the formal way of saying, but you can also use it in certain informal setups. It's completely on you. Moving ahead, before taking up the numbers, I would like to begin by dealing with the alphabets first. So let's begin with those. So the A alphabet in German is called A, B is called B, C is called C. So here, the pronunciation is slightly different because you have to add a tint of the T in your pronunciation. It is not just say. You don't have to start with the S word, say. No, that's wrong. You have to start with an emphasis on the T. So the correct pronunciation is going to be say, say, say. That's right. So what do we have till here? A, B, say. Keep repeating after me. The alphabet D is pronounced as D. E is pronounced as A. So this is where us English speakers get a little confused because the German pronunciation for the alphabet A is actually not A. A is the pronunciation of the alphabet E actually. And A in German is A. So please remember that. So what do we have till here? A, B, C, D, A. Then the alphabet F is exactly same as in German as in English. F is F, G is G, H is H, I is E. The next word is yacht. So J is pronounced as yacht actually. And the reason for that is that J gives a sound of Y in its spelling. So if there is a word called JA, then in English we would read it as ja, correct? But in German language we will actually read it as ja because of the pronunciation of J in German language deals with sound of Y. So that is why JA as a word will be read as ja. So on that note, let's move ahead. K is ka, L. Now L, M, N, O are pronounced exactly same as in German as in English. L, M, N, O. P is pronounced as pe. Next is ku. Now R in German, the pronunciation says er, but the R is not emphasized upon when we say the pronunciation of R. So how is it then? It actually goes something like this. Air, air, air. That's right. Very good. Let us move ahead and deal with S. So S is pronounced exactly like English, S. But there's an unsaid rule in German language. So hear me out. In German, most of the sentences that begin with a S will actually give a sound of Z. So any word starting with S will 90% of the time give out the sound of Z. This is an unsaid rule in German. All right, take a note of this. So whenever we deal with vocabulary having the S word, I'll just come back on this topic. All right, moving ahead. T is pronounced as te. U is u. F is V. V is V. So this actually means that the word V in German language gives the sound of F, just like J was giving a sound of Y, yacht. Remember? So any word starting with V will be written as or read as F. So V-I-E-R in English will be read as wir, but in German, V-I-E-R will actually be read as fear. And fear is the number 4. So we'll come across this in the number system when we deal with it. Moving ahead, the word W is pronounced as we, X is X, Y is pronounced as Ypsilon, Ypsilon, Z is set, set. So just like C, the pronunciation of Z will also have a slight T in it. Set, set. That's right. Now, these were the 26 alphabets that are same in English and in German. Only pronunciation differs. But the German language has 4 more extra characters. So first of those 4 extra characters is the SZ. This is actually the beta sign that we use in maths also. but in German it's called SZ, and this SZ actually gives the sound of double S, which is S. So anywhere you find this SZ in any spelling, it will actually give the sound of S. Now moving ahead, in German language there are two dots. These two dots are actually called umlauts, and these umlauts only appear over three alphabets, namely A, O, and U. Other than these three, it doesn't appear on any other object, any other alphabet, right? So A, O, and U, only these three will be having the umlauts. So let's see how the pronunciation changes. These umlauts are actually used to bring two vowel harmonies together. So let's see how are they being applied here. So O with umlauts will actually be pronounced as ew, ew. A with umlauts will be pronounced as e, e. And U with the umlauts will be pronounced as ew, ew. So this is how the pronunciation differs. E, ew, and ew. With that, we are done with the alphabets. Let us revise it one last time. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, E, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, Z, U, A, U. All right, with that we are done with the alphabets. Now I think it's time we delve into the number system. The numbers are called the Nummer, meaning the numbers. The article the signifies the plural form. So the Nummer is plural, the numbers. Let's start with the first number. The number 1 is called eins. 2 is called zwei. So again, because of the presence of Z, you have to pronounce a little bit of T. Zwei. Zwei. The number 3 is called drei. Drei. Vier. Vier. Fünf. Sechs. So see how the word starting with the S is giving the sound of Z actually. The unsaid rule I just spoke about. Sechs. Sieben. Acht. Neun. Zehn. Elf. 12. So if you're able to memorize the numbers from 1 to 12, the life after this in the number system becomes far more easier than you can think. Although there are such big numbers written and you might be wondering how will you ever be able to memorize them. I got you. You just need to break these words down into segments. The more you break them down, the better you'll understand them. For example, look at this word 13. 13 is 13. Now, if you break down this word into two parts, you will have drei and you will have zehn. So, drei is the number 3 actually, and zehn is the number 10. So, that makes 13, meaning 310. Similarly, if you look at the number 14, you will see it is written as 410, meaning 14. Next, it is written as 15, meaning 510. Then next, it is 16. Next, 17, 18, and 19. Now, there's one very important part before we delve into how to say 20. In German language, 3 numbers are written slightly different to what their spelling actually is. So, you can observe that in the number 7, you're writing the spelling as sieben. But when you're writing 17, the spelling changes. It has now become sieb. So this spelling change occurs in only 3 occasions. First one is when you're writing 17. The second one is when you're writing 7070. And the third one occurs when you're writing 7th. When you're writing a date of something. 7th of March, 7th of April, 7th of August. So in those contexts, you will add sieb to the spelling. So only if you're writing 27, 87, 97, the spelling of 7 will remain the same. The spelling of 7 does not change. It only changes under the 3 contexts which I just now have shared. On that note, let us move ahead. Now taking up 20. So the pronunciation of 20 is zwanzig. So the ZIG gives the zish sound. Zwanzig, zwanzig. All right. And you will observe that when we move ahead, when we deal with 30, 40, 50, 60, you're just writing the number. And after that, you're adding a ZIG to the end of the number. So that makes it T, 30, 40, 50, right? So we'll just get back to it. For now, let us just understand it is zwanzig. Moving ahead to 21. Again, you break this big word down into 3 parts and you will understand the meaning. The middle word, if you observe, is und, U-N-D, und. Und actually means and. So you can read it as 1 and 20. So 1 and 20 makes 21. That's right. So what are we doing over here? In a 2-digit number, we are reading the number backwards. So if it is 21, I'm reading the 1's digit first and then I'm saying the 2nd digit. So I'm saying 1 and 20. So that makes 21. When I'm saying 22, I'm reading the 1's digit first and then the 20th digit. So I'm reading it as 22. For 23, I'm reading it as 23, meaning 3 and 20, meaning 23. Similarly, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and then we have 30. So only the spelling of 30 is different. Rest all 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. All the spellings will remain the same. Only spelling of 30 is different because of the presence of SZ. We are not writing ZIG. Instead, we are just putting an SZ and we are putting IG. But remember, SZ also gives the sound of double S. So it becomes 30. Now, the similar form is used here. 1 and 30 will be 31. 2 and 30 will be 32. Correct? I hope you're understanding this point. Let us move and understand how is 40 written as. So in order to write 40, we're just writing the number 4 and we are adding a ZIG at the end to make it 40. So that becomes 40. Similarly, 15 becomes 50. Similarly, if you move ahead, you will read 60. Next, you will read 70. Remember, I told you that when writing 70, we will also use the spelling as zeb. Remember that. Then moving ahead, 80 and 90. And lastly, our very favorite number, 100. 100 is 100. So 100. With that, I think we've completed the number system. Wasn't that too easy? All right. With a few more practice sessions, you'll be able to get thorough with the numbers. Let us move ahead and discuss Monate des Jahres, meaning let's discuss the months of the year. Let's start with the very first one. Januar, Februar, März, April, Mai, Juni, Juli, August, September, October, November, December. All right. With that, we are done with the months as well. Moving ahead and doing the days of the week. So we have Montag. The meaning of the word Tage is days, right? So Montag, Dienstag, Mittwoch, Donnerstag, Freitag, Samstag, Sonntag. All right. So the days starting from Montag till Freitag are actually called Wochentage. Wochentage means weekdays. Spelling of Wochentage is Wochentage. Wochentage. This makes the weekdays. And the Saturday and Sunday, which is Samstag und Sonntag, these will be the Wochenende. Wochenende, meaning the weekends. Wochenende. Wochenende. All right. Now moving ahead. Next, we are going to learn the Fragesatz. So, in order to understand the Fragesatz is how to ask questions in the German language. So to help you better understand, I have three ways to offer in which you can ask questions in German language. The first way is by changing the order of the words. So you see, by changing the order of the words, I mean in German language, the way to actually kind of ask questions in German, or a simple sentence, if I may say, how to form a simple sentence in the German language. This is how the sentence structure looks like. You start with the subject in the first position of the sentence, followed by the verb after being conjugated. So I saying conjugated, I want to say that how the verb actually changes. So just like English, how I say I go, but we say he goes. So how is go becoming goes? The same concept is also there in German as well. So that is what is called the German verb conjugation. So going back to the sentence structure, first position will be of the subject, second will be of the verb, followed by the object or the rest of the sentence, which may have prepositions or other corresponding things as well. The basic structure says subject, verb, object, right? This is the basic sentence structure in how to formulate sentences in German language. But when dealing with question words formulation, it is very important to understand that while formulating questions in German, we need to swap the position of the verb and the subject. So while in the normal sentence structure, subject comes first, followed by the verb, while making it as a question, you have to put the verb first and then the subject will come in the second position. So this is the first method of asking questions in German. It is called changing the order of the words, meaning you are swapping the position of the subject and the verb. So as you can see in this example, I am swapping the subject and the verb. Geht's du ins Kino? Are you going to the cinema? Geht's is the verb, du is the subject, and ins Kino is the object or the cinema. So all you have to do is swap the position of the verb and the subject. This is the first way in which you can formulate questions. The second way is by adding few endings to your sentence. For example, nicht, oder, or doch. Nicht literally means not, oder literally means or, and doch actually means of course. But when you put these three words towards end of a sentence, it actually becomes a question sentence. So for example, how in English we say, that's right, isn't it? So in the sentence, that's right, by just adding isn't it, it becomes a question sentence. Same thing happens in German. These words, nicht, oder, or doch, when applied to the end of a sentence, their meaning changes and it becomes isn't it? So that is another way you can ask questions. And the third and the easiest way is by using a question word. So question words like what, when, why, how, where, which, all these words will fall into the category of question words. So on this note, let us go back to our PPT that we were doing earlier. Coming back to the Fragesatz, the structure of formulating a W-Frage is this. The first position will be taken up by the W word, meaning the W word, the question word, followed by the conjugated word. Then will come the subject of the sentence and the object and or the remaining sentence, whatever is appropriate depending on the context. So let us look at the few W-Frage words. The first is was, wo, wer, wohin, woher, wann, wie lange, wie viel, wie viele, wie oft, warum, wieso, and that's it. So this is how you ask the W-Frage or question words. Moving ahead, some examples of the W-Frage. Woher kommen Sie? Wie viel kostet das Brot? Wie lange dauert die Bahnfahrt? Wann können wir einchecken? Now, in some context, the question word wie, which literally means how, there are certain phrases in which the meaning of how changes and it actually becomes what. So remember these three contexts that we are going to deal with. The first one is wie ist Ihr Name? So we don't say was ist Ihr Name. We always say wie ist Ihr Name? What is your name? Similarly, wie is the addresser? What is the address? And wie is the telephone number? What is the telephone number? So remember, because German is a different language than English, you cannot literally always translate word to word from English to German. There are few phrases that you'll have to keep in mind, just like the ones we've done. All right. Now, if you have to structure the sentence in a different manner, so the manner which I spoke of in the very first go, which is swapping the position of the verb and the subject, this is how the sentence structure is going to look like. You're going to now start with the conjugated verb, followed by the subject, object, and rest of the sentence. As an example, it is written, wohnen Sie in Berlin. So here the verb is coming first, then subject, and then the object. Similarly, kaufen Sie ein neues Auto? Are you buying a new car? Fliegst du nach Deutschland? Sind Sie Herr Sharma? Are you Herr Sharma? And the very last sentence is very important. English often needs the word do to form this type of question. But in German, it is way simpler in this respect. How is that? You just need to move the infinitive verb to the beginning of the sentence. By doing that, you automatically formulate a question sentence that deal with, do you do this? Are you doing this? So this becomes very easy for us English speakers to get into the language of German. Okay, now talking about the Aussagesatz. So the Aussagesatz is the normal sentence or the Hauptsätze. So in the normal sentence, as mentioned earlier, the subject comes first, followed by the conjugated verb, and then the rest of the sentence. So for example, sie spielt gern. She often plays. So she spielt gern. Sie is the subject, spielt is the verb, and gern is the rest of the sentence. Sie kommt am Montag. Now, one more way of writing the exact same sentence is saying am Montag kommt sie. This logic is called subject inversion. So subject inversion is nothing but you placing the subject instead of the first position, you placing the subject towards the third position. That is immediately after the verb. So both the sentences are correct. You can either say sie kommt am Montag or you can say am Montag kommt sie. Both sentences will be considered correct. Let us move ahead. So coming to our Wortschatz, coming to the vocabulary, the first word for us is der Stadt, Deutsch. Please keep repeating after me. Hier, lernen, international, das Wort, verstehen, begrüßen, vorstellen und fragen, der Name. Let us also look at the Beispiels or the examples of how to place these words in a sentence. Start auf Deutsch. Please begin with German. Ich lerne Deutsch. I learn German. Hier lernen Sie Deutsch. You will learn German here. Wir lernen Deutsch. We learn German. Das Wort Computer ist international. The word computer is international. Ich verstehe nicht. I do not understand. Die Lehrerin begrüßt die Studentin. The teacher greets the students. Stellen Sie sich vor, bitte. Please introduce yourself. Ich spreche Englisch und Deutsch. I speak English and German. Der Lehrer fragt uns. The teacher questions us. Or the teacher asks us. Wie ist dein Name? What is your name? The next set is der Herkunft, das Alphabet, Buchstabieren, Wortakzent, sehen, hören, das Bild, was, wo, woher, warum, wann. Coming up to the Beispiels, wie ist deine Herkunft? What is your origin? Das Alphabet, A, B, C. The alphabets A, B, C. Buchstabieren Sie das Wort. Please spell the word. Markieren Sie den Wortakzent. Please mark the syllable. Sehen Sie das Bild? Do you see the picture? Ich höre CD. I listen to the CD. Sehen Sie das Bild? Are you seeing the picture? Was ist das? What is that? Wo ist das? Where is that? Woher kommen Sie? Where are you from? Warum bist du traurig? Why are you sad? Wann ist die Party? When is the party? Wie, wer, der Supermarkt, das Telefon, der Kurs, der Kaffee, der Computer, die Cafeteria, die Oper, der Espresso, der Airbus, der Euro, das Orchester. Coming to the Beispiels, wie ist dein Name? What is your name? Wer kommt aus Deutschland? Who is from Germany? Der Supermarkt ist groß. The supermarket is big. Das Telefon klingt. The phone is ringing. Der Kurs ist praktisch. The course is practical. Der Kaffee ist gut. The coffee is good. Das Wort Computer ist international. The word computer is international. The cafeteria is links. The cafe is to the left. The next one says die Oper ist groß. The opera is big. Ich brauche eine Espresso. I need an espresso. Der Airbus ist spät. The Airbus is late. Es kostet 20 Euro. It costs 20 euros. Das Orchester ist groß. The orchestra is big. The next set of words is die Schule, heißen, in, kommen, aus, der Dialog, die Frau, der Deutschlehrer, noch einmal, der Favorit. Taking the Beispiel now, die Schule ist groß, the school is big. Ich heiße Anna, I'm called Anna. Ich wohne in Indien, I live in India. Wer kommt aus Deutschland? Who is from Germany? Hören Sie den Dialog? Please listen to the dialogue. Ich bin die Lehrerin, Frau Schmidt. I'm the German teacher, Mrs. Schmidt. Ich bin der Deutschlehrer. I'm the male German teacher. Sehen Sie das Bild noch einmal. Look at the picture once again. Mein Favoritbuch ist Anno. My favorite book is Anno. So the next part for us, the next set of words is studieren, das Hobby, der Universität, die Familie, das Spanisch, das Jahr, alt, das Englisch, der Student, die Kommunikation, interkulturell. Coming to the Beispiels, ich studiere Deutsch, I study German. Mein Hobby ist Skifahren. Mein Hobby ist Skiing. Meine Universität ist in Bonn. My university is in Bonn. Meine Family wohnt in Berlin. My family lives in Berlin. Ich spreche Englisch und Spanisch. I speak English and Spanish. Ich bin 20 Jahre alt. I'm 20 years old. Ich spreche Englisch. I speak English. Ich bin ein Student. I am a student. Kommunikation ist wichtig. Communication is important. Interkulturelle Kommunikation ist auch wichtig. Intercultural communication is also very important. The next word is das Semester. The semester. Der Freund oder die Freundin. You can convert a male friend into a female friend by adding "-in" at the end of the spelling. So Freund becomes Freundin to give the feminine touch. Das Polnisch, das Russisch, ein bisschen, seit, vorher, das Französisch, das Chinesisch, das Restaurant. Taking up the Beispiels. Es gibt 6 Semester. Er ist mein Freund. Er ist Polnisch. Er ist Russisch. Ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch. I speak a little bit of German. Seit 2001 lerne ich Deutsch. Since 2001 I learn German. Vorher war sie in Indien. So before that she was in India. Ich lerne Französisch. I learn French. Ich lerne Chinesisch. I learn Chinese. Das Restaurant ist gut. The restaurant is really good. Moving at the last set of vocabulary. Das Café, haben, das Konzert, die Bank, die Basis, das Ufer, auf Wiedersehen, das Museum. Taking the Beispiels, the examples, the first sentence is, das Café ist gut. The cafe is really good. Ich habe ein Restaurant. I have a restaurant. Das Konzert war fantastisch. The concert was fantastic. Die Bank ist in Berlin. The bank is in Berlin. Grammatik ist ein Basis. Grammar is the base. I think we'll all agree to that. Das Ufer ist in der Nähe. The bank of the river is very nearby. Gut dann. Auf Wiedersehen. Good then. Bye-bye to all of you. Das Museum ist sehr modern. The museum is very modern. So on that note, in today's discussion of Lektion 1, we've completed quite a lot of things. So we've completed the vocabulary, the grammar, a little bit of that. And also we started with the alphabets, the numbers, the W-Frage, different way of asking questions in German. And we also had a very interesting dialogue between teacher and the students. I hope all of you would have enjoyed today's class. Thank you so much. Auf Wiedersehen. Bis nächsten Mal.